All right, so here's the assignment to start out with. All right. Section 2-8, pages 181 through 183, 1 through 10, 13 through 35, and 44 through 46. So make sure you get that written down. And then I'm going to look at the lesson plans because I'm not 100% sure what I decided to do. So let's take a look at the situation. Yeah, so it looks as if our Chapter 2 test is on Tuesday, guys. All right, I thought I was going to get everything done, but I can't. All right, and have a good enough review. All right, so our test is Tuesday. All right, now for today. All right, let's go ahead and take care of business here. All right, and like I said, I'm pretty confident here for you guys. Number one, what's the slope? Can everybody see? I believe you're correct. M equals -1. All right, M equals -1. All right, you should be good on number 2. Slope is what? It's undefined, remember? All right, vertical lines are undefined. Horizontal lines are what?
0.
0. All right. And then what about this guy right here? Now, like I said, I know it's a little blurry, so I'm going to put it in there for you. That point I have B, I have no idea what point B is, right? So it would be this point right here is what I would recommend. Right, and then I'm trying to find another point. It looks like this right here is a better point as far as I can tell. Right, so here I'm looking at the rise and the run. All right, remember this is referred to as delta y, and that's delta x. So how much should I go up? 5. Do you agree with that? I believe it's the slope is 5/4. That's pretty easy, right? Okay, now it says write the equation in point slope form. So it then says graph the line. So I'll pass out some graph paper because I do think this is important. It's kind of what you did last week on IXL, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But let's write point slope form. All right, point slope form. Who can tell me what the equation is? Tell me. Good job. Thank you, that's perfect. So that's the form you're using. Okay, anybody have any questions with that? All right, so now I need the equation. Somebody tell me the equation for number 4. Go.
Y plus 2 equals 5 parentheses x minus 3.
Y plus 2 equals 5 times x minus 3. Okay, so we all should be good at graphing. All right, so somebody explain to me how I would graph that. All right, we don't have graph paper. Well, I mean, I do, but Charlotte, tell me how to graph this.
You graph, like you go with -3, you go like left 3 and then up 2.
Why?
Because the x is -3.
Okay, so this is why some of you had trouble on IXL. Right, so again, watch. This right here and this right here is not the actual point. What is the point? Tell me. Isn't the point 3 -2? So that's why some of you were getting it wrong on IXL. When you're pulling the information out, remember it's the opposite sign when you're in the point slope. Do you agree with that? You understand what I'm saying? So the actual point was 3 -2. So you plot the point 3 -2. And then from that point you go what? Go ahead. Up 5 and over 1. Now, something that I would like for you to be good at is If I start at 3, -2, and I go up 5 and over 1, what point do I land on? What point do I land on? Tell me.
On 4, 3.
4, 3. Why is that? Because I went up 5, right? If I go up 5, what is that affecting?
The Y.
The y. So I add 5 to whatever y was. What was y? So -2 plus 5 is, and then to the right 1 affects the x. So you add 1 to the x. All right. Does anybody have any questions with that? So if I ask you to graph, all right, question number 5. Who's going to tell me how to graph question number 5? Tell me.
You go to -2, -3.
Go -2, -3, and then what?
You go up 1 to the right.
And up 1 and to the
Right.
and up 1 to the right 4. Does anybody have any questions with that? Anybody? Okay. So now write me the equation real quick. Go ahead.
Y plus 3 equals 1/4 parentheses x plus 2.
Simple. All right, Tyler, you tell me what to do for number 6. What point do I do? Yeah, so I plot the point -4, 6. Now, why is this annoying? It's a decimal. So we now have to convert that to a fraction. So what fraction is that going to be? Tell me, Tyler. Now, 0.25, the easy way to do it is 0.25 is what? So it would just be -4 1/4. So it'd be what now? Improper. No, it's been a long time. What would that be? And then? Yes. Come on. -17/4. That's part of the reason why I like to review. It's been a long time since you've had to convert a mixed to an improper. -17/4. You may have any issues with that. So if you had to graph that, what would I do? And from what point? That's exactly right. All right, now once again, there's nothing I can do. We spent a couple days trying to do IXL. All right, you should have that down. All right, everybody should be experts at graphing. Everybody good? Any questions? All right, let's take a look at this now. What's true about lines that are what? Parallel. Same slope. Thank you. And perpendicular. Negative reciprocals. All right. So again, same as what you were doing. So let's look at question number 7. So we're looking at WX. All right. So with WX, I'm all right with mental math. Slope of WX is equal to, somebody said 1/2. Now remember what I try to tell everybody, you don't just want to write 1/2. You want to tell me the answer is 1/2. All right, and if you don't know, now's the time. Speak up, please. All right, so now we're going to do the slope of YZ. What's the slope of YZ? 8 over what?
-4.
Which is?
Oh, -2.
Right, does everybody agree? 8 over -4, he's correct. 8 over -4, which is -2. I'm finding the slope. And here's the numbers I'm using right here, right? But that's what I'm saying, Dalton. Please, if that's not good enough explanation, you got to tell me. Okay? So then what's true about those two lines that contain those points?
They're perpendicular.
Yeah, perpendicular. So we just write perpendicular. Any questions? All right, let's check out 8. Here we go, 4, 8. Slope of Wx. Tell me.
8/3.
So far I got an 8/3.
Yep.
We happy with that? Now I want the slope of yz. Read, what did you say?
5/2.
5 over what?
No, negative 12.
Think about it. Let him think about it. Let him think about it. Because again, guys, I like I said, I'm glad you guys are ready to jump in, but make sure you're good. Read.
Okay, so 5/, negative 14.
So
14.
yes. All right. And again, the mental math is super important. The mental math is super important. Right? So if you're not sure about how we got the 5 or the 14, doesn't matter what order you subtract, as long as you are consistent, right? If you do y2 minus y1, you have to do x2 minus x1. But if you do y1 minus y2, then you have to do x1 minus x2. All right? So what's the relationship? Is there a relationship?
No.
Neither. All right, neither. All right, so let's look at number 9. All right, again, the slope of Wx is equal to, somebody else, come on. All right, Carson, you tell me Wx. Now, the problem you're having is, remember, it's y minus y. You have to the x's. So what's y minus y? Yes. Over. Now be careful. The negatives are what kill people. What are we starting with? Nope. The reason why I say no is because you did 9 minus 6. You understand that or not? So now I have to do what? Which is? Say it again. What did you? Here's what. Shh. Let him make his mistakes. Say it again. Negative 6 what? There you go. And again, you can't get better until you make the mistakes. So I'm telling you, you have to be careful with the negatives. What? All right, so you tell me what's the slope of yz.
So negative 9 over.
Which is? So that means? That means they're parallel. Slopes are the same. That's kind of easy. All right, so number 10. All right, I want the slope of Wx. Kian, go.
5.
Good job. And now go ahead. Just tell me the slope of yz.
2 over half.
So what's true? They are perpendicular. Kind of easy, right?
Yeah.
Just be careful with the positives and negatives. Be careful with the positives and negatives. Let's see if it's any harder. The slope of each line. Determine the slope. Write an equation. Determine. Okay, so I'm totally comfortable with, I don't think there's an issue on any of this. However, I'm going to change, I want you to underline or highlight 27, 28, 29, and I want you to say write in slope-intercept form, just to review. All right, write in slope-intercept form. All right, slope-intercept form was just what?
Y equals mx plus b.
Yeah, y equals mx plus b. All right, so the easiest thing to do is always put it in point slope form first. So here we go. Here's 27. Here's 27. Someone write that equation for me. Drew, go. 27. Thank you very much. Now that normally would be the answer, but I changed the directions for these three. Continue.
So y minus 11 equals 2x minus 6.
Beautiful.
And then y equals 2x minus, actually, no, plus 5.
That's it. That's all there is to it, guys. You have to know both forms. You have to know both forms. All right. Now, does anybody remember last year what other formula there was? What was it?
Standard.
Standard form. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that for you guys. We need to review that. Standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. Now, ax plus by equals c means no fractions for a, b, c. X must be positive. All right, does anybody remember that now? All right. So if I want to put this in standard form, all right, x and y go together. So I want the x to be positive. So does anybody recall what the answer would be for number 27 in standard form? Tell me. X always has to come first. X has to come first. What? I like it, almost. Right. 2x minus y equals -5. Now, what I'm really trying to help you guys with is, remember, moving things around with your mental math. Doing well. So look up and make sure you're hearing me. X has to be positive, right? Come on, come on. So I leave 2x alone. That's positive. Move the y over, so the y becomes what?
Negative.
Negative. Now the 5 doesn't go there. It goes where?
Over.
Over. So that's why it's what?
Negative.
-5. Everybody good on that? So now you know the three forms. You have to be good at all three forms. All right? Point slope is the one you'll use most of the time. Slope-intercept and standard form. Standard form is really never used, except sometimes they put it on standardized tests and make you put it in that form. All right? So let's go ahead and do the same thing. I want both forms for, or all three forms for 27, 28, 29. All right, so let me walk you through 28. All right, so someone who's thinking, tell me what the point slope form would be. Read.
So it would be y plus 6
Good.
equals -4/5 x plus 3.
Beautiful. All right, now we got some fractions, so we got to practice our fractions. All right. Who's going to distribute the -4/5? Give it a shot. Go.
It's -4/5 x minus 12/5.
That's all there is to it. Now's the time you're supposed to say, hey, refresh my memory on fractions. Does anybody have any questions with that? What? 4 times 3 is 12. Right? Now I have to do what? Uh-oh, hold up. Go. Good for you. Because it's the fraction, right? So let's do that. And I'm glad you guys are asking. I mean it. This is a 1, right? So 1 times negative 4/5 is negative 4/5, right? And then 4/5 times 3. Remember, 3 is the same as 3 over 1. So 4 times 3 is 12. Is that good?
Yeah.
Right? What? Now, I'm subtracting 6. If I'm subtracting 6, how many fifths is that?
Negative 30.
Negative 30. So my final answer would be y is equal to negative 4/5 x what? Minus
Minus 32 over 5.
minus
42 over 5.
42 over 5. That would be good enough for me. All right, now we're going to standard form. Are you allowed to have fractions?
No.
So I should just multiply everything through by what first?
5.
5. Good. Okay, now we're talking. So now 5y equals negative 4x minus 42. Anybody have any questions with that? What? I'm not done yet. Now the final step.
But I also should say, when you multiplied, wait, hold on, I'll just do last one.
Okay.
I'll just do last one. So if you find, so you'd have to multiply 40. You'd have to multiply both of them by negative. You'd have to multiply all of them by negative 1.
No, not yet. I'm just going to standard form. So standard form now would mean to move the x with the y. You see what I'm saying? So there's no reason. So now it's just, Patrick, what?
5y plus 4x.
So close. What goes first?
Oh, 4x plus 5y.
Yes, sir. 4x plus 5y equals negative 42. I'm okay with that. Is everybody okay? Any questions? All right. So just give you a little tip here. For number 29, 2.4, we should just write that as a fraction. What's 2.4 as a fraction? Come on, come on, come on. What's 2.4 as a fraction? 12 over 5. Negative, right? Oh, come on, come on. This is the same as negative 24 over 10. Negative 24 over 10. And then just reduce it by 2, which is negative 12/5. Now look, hey, I am serious now, guys. You have a little deficiency maybe in fractions. Now's the time. You can't be afraid to say, come on, show me. Don't do that. If you don't know something, speak up. I think you should know it, right? Because we did it in 5th grade and 6th grade, but that's a long time ago. All right, plus you use your calculator sum. So I'm asking you, if you don't know how I changed negative 2.4 into this up here, you just got to tell me. Everybody's good. All right, so I'm happy. So now finish 29 up by writing it in slope-intercept form and standard form. All right, now let's go down to these problems down here. Number 44, 45, 46. I'm going to do all 3 of those with you because, again, those are the SAT type questions that are always on standardized tests. You have to be a master of them. All right, so here we go. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that contains the point 42 that is parallel to this. So remember, the first thing you need to remember is anytime you want to write the equation of the line, you need a what and a what? A slope and a point. Now keep in mind the y-intercept is a point, so that's not bad. But the thing you have to remember is you need a point and you need a slope to write an equation of a line. And once you have the point and slope, you just write it in point slope form and you're done. All right, so what point are we referring to in number 44? 4,2. What would be the slope of the line? 3. The slope would be 3 because it is what? Parallel. All right? So now we're just writing the equation. All right, Virginia, tell me what the equation is. Beautiful. All right. Leia, you have to convert it. What am I doing? We're converting it to slope-intercept. And then? Easy, easy, easy. Good job. That's what I want to hear from everybody. That's simple. I think writing the equation line is super simple. All right, Gavin, you're up. All right, so 45. What point are they talking about? Come on, you got this. What's the point that the line's going through?
Oh. -8, 12.
Beautiful. -8, comma 12. Now this one's different because they didn't give you an equation, a line. They gave you 2 points that are on the other line. So what do I have to do to these 2 points, Gavin?
You have to find the slope.
That's correct. Oh, wow. What's the slope here?
0.
Exactly, 0. It's 0. All right, it's 0. So if I want to draw a slope that's 0, what would it be, Gavin?
It would be undefined.
No, because now listen to me. Now think about it. Undefined and 0 are not the same.
Oh, it would be flat.
That's right. Horizontal. Here we go.
Sorry.
We would be horizontal, guys. We can ignore. Just ignore. Come on, we got work to do. It's not that funny. We've all heard the phones go off before. All right. So if I'm perpendicular to that, what kind of line is it going to be?
It's going to be like x equals.
That's right. X equals what, Gavin?
X equals.
What's the x coordinate? That's the answer. X equals -8. Now, you really can't write that in standard form or in slope-intercept form, right? Those are the exceptions kind of to the rule. All right, now, look, 45, you got to be a thinker on 45 now. How did I know it was y equals 2? How did I know it was horizontal? Let's look at both y values. Both y values are the same. What are both y values? 2, right? I understand what some of you are saying. If the y values are both 2, it's automatically y equals 2. Everybody agree? Which is a horizontal line, which means something that's perpendicular to a horizontal would be vertical. And vertical lines are always x equals. Everybody okay with that? All right, that was kind of tricky. All right, so now 46. All right, Ava, what point am I talking about in 46? Shh. Hey. Yes, what point are we going through? 5 what? You're right. Yes. Now remember, I don't want you asking me questions. Right, it sounds like you're not sure. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just the 0.53, right? Okay, so we're going through the 0.53, and let me just make sure everybody heard me on that. You are trying to write an equation line, so you need a point and you need a slope. So what line is my, what point is my line going through? That's what we're doing. 5, 3. You agree with me now, right? All right. Now we want it to be what? Parallel. So what's the slope going to be? Now, 1/2. All right. So the slope is 1/2. So now write the equation. I'm waiting, Ava. Beautiful. Now I want to see what the equation says. Slope-intercept form. All right, so if we're going in slope-intercept form, Noel, tell me what to do next. All right, so it's going to be what? Okay, finish it off. I like that. Because we're adding 3, right? When you add 3, that's 6 halves. All right, now again, guys, there's nothing I can do. We did a whole bunch of IXL. Now, part of the reason why I like the IXL is because it forces you to graph properly. Is everybody with me? It's kind of annoying, I agree. All right? But it forces you to graph properly. So, do I really need you to graph these? No, I don't need you to graph, but I do need you to write the equations. Is everybody with me? And I gave you specific instructions for, well, just number what now? 29 is the one that you have to write all 3 forms for. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions? All right, I'm pretty happy with that, guys. This is critical. All right, make sure you know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you got to find out. All right, get to work. Get to work. Get to work.